All right, good gaming, and we are going to finish the, well, technically it's now a replay, started as a pre-play of Alabama, Cincinnati. And in that pre-play portion, Alabama led by the game as they did in real life. Difference being, and it was 14-0 in the game. So just to get you up to speed, for Alabama, the two touchdowns came, one on a 50-yard touchdown strike from Bryce Young to Robinson. And then the second touchdown, and Williams also had a 40. Total yardage in the first half, Cincinnati 26 for 163 yards, and Alabama at 24 for 219. And the surprise, Cincinnati actually ran the ball better. And again, these stats are coming off my score sheet I created on Excel, which distributes stats from the simulated portions of the drive. So rushing, Cincinnati in the first half had a total of 11 carries for 58 yards. Passing were 10 for 16, 105. And for Bama, running the ball only 10 for 32 than the actual game. And passing 9 for 14, 182 touchdowns. And our good friend Matt, Steeler fan 1933, has joined us, as has Philip Reynolds. Happy New Year to you too, Philip. And again, check out Glory Days Boxing Dynasty on the Operation Sports other Dynasty forums. Has pretty much all fighters active, and he's been doing a great job with that, a long ongoing dynasty. So for second half, Bama is going to get 6 possessions, Cincinnati 5. Bama will get instead of the game board. And again, don't mind the here. I didn't have time to get these done at Office Max, so it's my personal printer, which needs more red ink. So that's why they look. Here we go. Kickoff, Cincinnati, and kickoff, they are a C, and Alabama is a B on the kickoff return. Half. And they are going to win that division, and they've done a good job turning that franchise around. It's very impressive what they've done there. Of course, Joe Burrow having an excellent season. All right, Bama on their initial drive, they are going to be a +2. So for a successful drive has to be 29 and up. And Cincinnati is going to start the second half out by forcing a punt, 13 on the yardage chart. Only going to be 3 plays, 5 yards for Bama. So that's what Cincinnati needed to do to get back in this game. And immediately they start off good defensively. Both defenses actually played well in the first half. So punt team comes on for the Tide. And line of scrimmage will be a 30-yard line on the punt. Bama is a D, not extremely good on punting. So it's going to be a 40-yard punt down to the Cincinnati 30, and a 4 on the return. Cincinnati on the return is a B. So 4B is going to be a fair catch, and Desmond Ridder, these for simplicity, we'll leave them like that. All right, so Desmond drive of the second half for the Bearcats. Let's see if they can have a successful drive, and a little bit more uphill for them. They're at a disadvantage of 3 on the drive chart, meaning they need 41 or better. And in 98, that is going to be definitely 41 or better, but it's a potential interception. So we'll do the yardage first of all on that. And 9 on the yardage. That is going to be 7 yards when at the point the interception comes. And as a reminder, and they'll have to kick if it's not an interception. As a reminder, on the 1D20, Cincinnati has a range on interceptions of 1 to 10, and Alabama is a +5, so that doesn't bode well for Ridder. And one that is definitely going to be picked off at the 37-yard line. And for the Bearcats, that is their third turnover of the game, and actually third drive in a row that they've turned 10. And that's going to be 4. And that's going to be to the house, 38 yards on the return. I'll just show you there. 4-7, 38 yards, a pick six for the counts as a drive for Alabama. So we have a defensive TD to start the second half off, and that is not the situation Cincinnati needed to put themselves in. So it is now going to be 21-0, Alabama up. And Cincinnati set to get their second possession. Bama's going to kick. And 2 on the kickoff. That's going to be a touchback. So Cincinnati is going to own 25 on their second possession of the second half. As third quarter moving along very quickly. So first down and drive portion 78. Cincinnati, they are going to have a successful drive here. 16, which was well needed after 3 straight turnovers. So that's going to be 5 plays and 36 yards. And that's going to put them on the Alabama 39-yard line, and a roll of 6. It's going to make it a 2nd and 12 down and distance situation for the Bearcats from there. So Cincinnati jumping into play-by-play mode. And they actually did not have very many play-by-play opportunities the first half. So here we go. Cincinnati, second down and long, going to be a short pass, 25. And 25 on the short pass is going to be a +1, roll of 0. And that is going to be an 11-yard gain. Just missed a big play. But all right, so good strike from Ritter on that. And Bama's going to stack the box. Let's see if they call a run. Very good result there. That's going to be a -1 with the adjustment. So that comes off Bama's card. And -1, 0 on the long pass is going to be incomplete. So that brings up a 4th and 1. Cincinnati, no choice but to go for it here. See if they stay more conventional. And we're going to take another shot. This is actually going to be a possible penalty, and that will penalty. So 6, and we talked about Bama and Cincinnati both being amongst the worst teams in the league or in NCAA for penalties, which is surprising for 2 teams ranked as high. So we'll see what the result of the play is. 44 in a good position on 3rd and 1, and 2 quick incomplete passes go for the big play. Ruins that drive. Bama takes over on their 28. This will be the final drive of the third quarter as this game is moving along nicely. 63, Bama's going to have a potential successful drive. And 15 from the 28, that's going to be 4 plays, 37 yards for the Tide. So that gets all the way down to the Cincinnati 35-yard line and an 8 on the down and distance. Cincinnati, again, their drive defense is a 10. So it's going to be 2nd down and 8 for Alabama from there at the Cincinnati 35-yard line. And Bama won this game in real life 27-6. So they'll match that if they can punch this one in. 9, and they're going to come out and throw deep on 2nd down. And a roll of 51, and not very good there in terms of completion opportunities. And an 8, that's coming off of Cincinnati's card on a long pass. That's going to be incomplete and a possible sack. 16 on the 1D20. And again, Bryce Young, they did a good job protecting him. Cincinnati is a +2, so that will be incomplete, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 8. An advantage if Bama does indeed call a long pass. Here we go, 3rd and 8, and Bama up to the line, and it's going to be 2D6, and that's going to be a +1 for Bama, roll of 3. And that's going to be a rare incompletion. So Bryce Young, 2 straight misfires, and that's going to bring up a 4th down for the Tide. And at this stage, from the 35, it would be a 52-yard field goal, and their max is 51. So to try this, it would only be a 0 to rate. They're going to take a shot and 9 or less, and 24. Kick is up, and so Bama tacks on a field goal on the final drive of the 3rd quarter. And we head to the 4th. It is Alabama 24, Cincinnati 0. And the way that works, Bama 0 to 50 is, or 50 plus, I should say, is 0 to 49. For every yard over their max, you deduct 10 from that range. So a much easier choice to go for that there. If it had been like a 54-yarder, definitely would have either gone for it or punted. So that is how the adjustment works for long field goals, as Cincinnati poised to get this kickoff, and that's going to be into the end zone touchback. So Cincinnati starts the 4th quarter on their own 25-yard line. They've got to make things happen here. Ritter gets them up, and double zeros. That's pretty much as bad as you can get. That's going to be a punt. So 19, 4 plays, 14 yards for Cincinnati. And their offense just has been unable to get on track. And as a reminder, in our other pre-play, Georgia beat Michigan 38-34. So they're waiting the winner of this game for the Glory Days College Football 2022 pre-play national championship. All right, so punting from the 39-yard line, Cincinnati. All right. Possible penalty, 14 will be outside the penalty range, so a punt roll of 8. And again, Cincinnati punting ball is a B. It's going to be a 40-yard punt. And that's going to be fielded at the 21-yard line. And punt return for Alabama is a C, roll of 3. And that'll be a fair catch there. So the Tide, their first possession of the 4th quarter, is going to start at their own 21-yard line. Let's see if they can drive home the dagger here. 74, that's going to be another potentially successful drive. So 15. And that's going to be 4 plays, 37 yards again for Alabama. So they're down at the Cincinnati 42 and a 10 on the down and 6. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 from there. So playbook open for the Tide, 3rd and 5 from the Cincinnati 42-yard line, 66. And that's going to be, Cincinnati can't buy a break. That'll be a defensive penalty. And that's probably going to help them because that's the worst possible roll you could get in this situation. As Bama calls a short pass, 66 is going to be a -3. And -3 off of Cincinnati's card roll of 3. And that would be an incomplete. So Bama most assuredly will take this penalty as Cincinnati's shooting themselves in the foot. Defensive penalty, that's going to be offsides, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down at the 37-yard line. So Bama in business here, as it's going to be a run call on 1st down, and 52 on the 2D6. For Alabama, that's going to be a -1 roll of 0. So coming off of Cincinnati's chart, that's going to be a 3-yard gain for the Tide. All right, 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7 from the Cincinnati 34. And Brock has joined us. Happy New Year, Brock. Hope you're doing well, my friend. 2nd down, it's going to be another run call and 12. This bodes well for Alabama. Gain, so that's going to make it a 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 from the 21-yard or 28-yard line of Cincinnati. So Bearcats stacking the box, and Bama's going to take a shot over. So curious play calling in third and one for both teams the last two drives. 56, that's going to get a slight boost for Alabama. Instead of a -2, it's not prepared, but this still comes off of Cincinnati's card. 7, and that's going to be incomplete. So Bama now is faced with a 4th and 1. That's 3 straight incompletions in play-by-play mode for Young. And at this stage in the game, this is going to be a 45-yard field goal, and Saban's going to go for that, which will give them 27, matching their real-life total here early in the fourth quarter. All right, so 40-49, Bama field goal kicking is a 0-70 to 27-0 here in the fourth quarter. And Cincinnati 2 possessions left, so they have to score touchdowns. They're pretty much out of the game, but they can make it respectable, I guess, by scoring touchdowns. So here comes a kickoff from Alabama and a 6. It's going to be down to the goal line. Since a B on kickoff returns. So that's going to be a 12-yard return. Not too sharp on that. It's going to be first down there for the Bearcats as they start their 4th drive of the second half. And 60, they are going to have a successful drive. Yay, Cincinnati. 10. And that's going to be 7 plays, 55 yards for the Bearcats. And it's going to be down to the Alabama 33, and 7 on the down and distance gives them a 1st and 10 situation from there. So let's see if Desmond Ridder can make something happen here. Cincinnati's still trying to get on the scoreboard. 1st and 10 brings them up to the line. It's going to be a run call, 34. And Cincinnati is going to be a 0 result. So the ball carrier on that is 13. 13 is going to be Desmond Ridder, which is a -2 from whatever the result is. And that's going to be a 1-yard gain after all the math is complete. So 2nd down and 9 for the Bearcats from the Alabama 32-yard line. Ridder's got the play call, and it's going to be a short pass on 2nd down. 15, a good result for the Bearcats on the line control roll, as that's going to be a +3. And +3, 9. Cincinnati is going to get a big play 1. So 16, the recipient of the big play is going 3 yards. That's going to be a touchdown strike. Ridder to Ford. And Cincinnati finally gets on the scoreboard in this one. Touchdown pass from Ridder to Ford, and 0-96, and I should have rolled for the penalty. No penalty. It's up and good. So Cincinnati cuts it to 27-7 here in the fourth quarter. So very close to the real life result thus far. So Bama has 2 possessions left. Cincinnati 1. Bama, if they, well, technically with their last, they can just run the clock out too. So Cincinnati's set to kick it off to the Tide, and 5C on the kickoff. It's going to be down to the goal line, and Bama with a chance to return, and 0 is going to go to their team big play chart on the return. So Bama on kickoff returns, they do have a touchdown on there. 7, that's not going to be it. 7 will be a 36-yard return, though, field position for the Tide. And that's where they will start their next drive here in the fourth quarter. So simulated drive portion, again, Bama's got to get 29 or better for a good drive. 43, they have a good drive, and 20. Matic 1st and 10 situation, so we will ignore those dives. let's see, 56-63 down to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for Bama from the Bearcats 37. You can do put the dagger in, and they're going to take a 45 Bama on the pass. That's going to be from the 0 column, roll of 9, long pass, roll of 9. That's going to be incomplete. And Young has not had a good second half, at least not in play-by-play mode. So 2nd down and 10 from the 37 for Alabama. And I'm going to keep the ball on the ground this time. And again, real life has not been as much in this game. That's going to be a +2, however. And +2 roll of 3 for the Tide. And that's and still looking to get one of their running backs loose, which they did frequently in real life. Again, not so much here. 3rd and 5, and that's going to be another run play. 61, though, that favors Cincinnati, and that is going to be a -2. So roll of 6, -2 for Cincinnati, and that's going to be a 2. A 4th down for the Tide. Down to the 30-yard line, 4th down and 3, and Saban's going to send the field goal team out again. So this will be a 47-yarder, and again, Alabama needs a drive with a field goal for Bama, and that need to 30-7 here in the 4th quarter. And for Cincinnati, this will be their last possession of the game, and that will enable Bama just to run it out when they get it back on their final possession. So 5 on the kickoff for Bama, and see, that's going to be 5 on the return. 2B, and that's a 22-yard return. So Cincinnati starts their final drive of the day there. And again, needing a 41 or better. And Cincinnati, no, they are going to have to punt this away. So it's going to be 5 plays, 22 yards. Now, in a close game situation, you could go for it on 2D6 here for your down. In that situation, that would make it would be a 4th and 10. And actually, we're going to go ahead and play that out. Cincinnati, again, playing for pride. So 5 plays, 20 yards. So it's going to be 4th and 10 on their own 44 for the Bearcats as they try and salvage a little dignity here, trailing 30-7 in the semifinal game to the Crimson Tide. And on that situation, it's going to be a run. So we'll just say things broke down, and that was a scramble for Ritter. 61, and of course, not boding well. There's still a -1. So this comes off of Alabama's card. -1 roll of 4 on the run play, and it's going to be a 2-yard gain, and that's going to do it. Bama's going to take over with the opportunity now to run out the clock. So the option here, again, turnover on downs. The option here, basically, you can call 3 successive plays going off the 3rd and 1 to 2 roll. So that is going to be a run. And no adjustment here for the line control result as, again, running out the clock. So 24, and that's going to be a 2 for Alabama, 2-0, and that's going to be a big play 1. So things, unfortunately, for the Bearcats just get worse. 7, the ball carrier on that is going to be Robinson. And finally, Alabama, 1-yard run, and that gets it down to the Cincinnati 23-yard line. Here, that satisfies the 1st down requirements, which we are going to do, and that's going to wrap it up. We'll give Young credit for, or Robinson credit for that big All right, so let's do our final yardage for this 7-6, so pretty close there. And a little bit closer in yardage than the real game actually was. Cincinnati had 300 and Bama only 360. A 17-yard advantage there. The big thing for Bama, though, Cincinnati had 3 turnovers, including a pick 6, and Bama capitalized on that to also score 3 consecutive field goals on their last 3 drives of the game. So that makes your final score 30-7. And let's just take a look at the rushing numbers for Alabama. All right, so Bama had a total of only 87 yards rushing, much worse than they did in the actual game. Passing, though, Bryce Young 15 for 23, 273 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And for Cincinnati, Cincinnati actually ran the ball well, 21 carries for 112 yards. Passing, they were 18 for 30 for 231. So that does it. Our pre-play/replay, the second half of the Alabama-Cincinnati College Football Playoff. Thanks to Matt, Steeler Fan 1933, Phil and Brock Riblet for joining us, Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And again, Glory Days College Football set to release in the spring of 2022. We'll start rating all the teams in a week or two, and look forward to getting this out and doing some final tweaks. And also, there's going to be 3 ways to play this. The way I played it, which is for simulated drive portion, then into play-by-play. You can play play-by-play for the entire game. And I'm also working on a method where it's just simulated drives exclusively for the entire game. So I'm going to be doing some tweaking on that as I get the teams rated, and we'll have a feature on that when it's done to my satisfaction. So again, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.